When you witness a tragedy, the healthy human response is immediate. You expect a sharp spike of fear, a wave of sadness, or a visceral physical shock. But imagine waking up, checking your phone, and seeing another headline about a disaster. Instead of that expected shock, you feel nothing. You scroll past the story, and you simply move on with your morning. A person cannot maintain a state of deep, shattering grief every single day. If you tried to process the full weight of every global tragedy, your nervous system would eventually run out of fuel. This failure to react isn't a lack of empathy. It is the beginning of an unsettling, pervasive quiet inside your own mind. That silence often brings its own kind of terror. You start to wonder if you're becoming cold or broken, fearing that your capacity to care about anything has simply vanished. On the outside, you appear calm and composed. But internally, that composure feels entirely hollow, as if the you that used to feel things has gone missing. Understanding why this feeling disappears is the first step towards surviving the unique psychological pressures of the modern world. Every human mind has an emotional threshold, a hard biological limit to how much distress it can actively process at one time. Historical extremes show us what happens when that limit is reached. In a war zone, the constant threat of destruction and a ruined cityscape force the brain to confront its breaking point every single day. At first, the system stays sensitive. Every loss is devastating, and every loud sound triggers a state of intense, painful hyper-awareness. But staying that sensitive in a high-threat environment leads to psychological destruction. A mind that stays wide open to that much pain will eventually shatter. When the threshold is crossed, the brain stops trying to process the emotion and shifts all its resources toward basic survival. The brain executes a quiet override, turning down your internal emotional volume to prevent the entire system from collapsing under the weight of the trauma. This adaptation is what allows a person to eat a meal and function normally while surrounded by chaos. Definition image of violence. Your amygdala doesn't check GPS coordinates. It simply registers a threat in your immediate field of vision. By constantly consuming digital trauma from around the world, your mind reacts as if you are living in that danger, building the exact same protective armor used by soldiers in a trench. This numbing isn't a moral failure. It's a hardwired defense mechanism that is working exactly as it should to keep you functioning. But there is a catch. The brain cannot selectively choose which emotions it decides to mute. When the system shuts down your ability to feel fear and pain, it uses the same pathway that processes excitement and joy. As a result, the world starts to feel distant. Laughter doesn't hit the way it used to, and your interactions with people begin to feel like you're just going through the motions. The very mechanism that protects you from the world's pain also restricts your ability to experience your own happiness. These emotions haven't been deleted or destroyed. They are simply paused, pressed down by a system that has been pushed to its limit. Don't try to force a reboot by trying to feel everything at once. That would only trigger another overload and cause the system to shut down again. Healing begins when you stop asking why you're broken and start acknowledging the heavy weight your mind has been carrying for so long. Once you realize the machinery is working correctly, you can finally give yourself permission to slowly decompress. The way back is through gentle reconnection, testing your emotional reactions in small, safe ways without any pressure to have a big response. It starts by noticing tiny, subtle reactions. Just as a single drop of water creates expanding ripples, you can learn to notice a small moment of beauty or a brief flicker of connection without judging it. This gradual reopening bypasses your brain's threat detection armor. Because these moments don't feel dangerous, your mind slowly begins to lower its guard. Through this deliberate process, that inner silence changes. It stops being a heavy wall you're trapped behind and becomes a quiet, manageable space where you can finally hear yourself again.